Last May, in the days after Kellen Winslow's motorcycle accident, Joey Porter was among the Steelers who worried about Ben Roethlisberger riding his bike. Porter says he stopped short of telling Roethlisberger how risky it was to ride a motorcycle because Porter says he rides a jet ski. But he pointed out a difference. If I fall off a jet ski, he says, I get wet. But concrete is undefeated. It has never lost. Well, after his own wreck last month, it was Roethlisberger who lost. But as he told Jim Rome, the host of Jim Rome is Burning, in his first interview since that crash, he didn't lose nearly as much as he might have.
Big pitch, Roethlisberger.
Ben wants to throw it. Ben throws it long down the field. Beautiful butterfly thrown by Big Ben.
Ben Roethlisberger
broke his jaw and nose.
Multiple facial fractures.
I remember very few things about the accident. I remember seeing one car turn in front of me. I don't remember the car that hit me, but I remember the first car turning in front of me. And then the next thing I remember is being in the ambulance and asking them, "Is this really happening? Tell me it's just a bad dream." And the guy said, "No, you're going to be okay." And then he asked me for, "Is there anybody you want us to call?" And I just gave two numbers, and I don't remember anything until I woke up after surgery.
Take me back through that entire day. Exactly what happened that day?
Well, I woke up early that morning to do a bunch of radio interviews. I just had a bunch of things set up for this company I was doing stuff for, and got done doing it. And then I was like, well, you know, it's a great day outside. Let me go work out. And just on my own. It wasn't a team function. I just wanted to go work out. And I said, I'm going to just jump on my bike real quick. I just got some work done to it, and I was going to take it and get it done. So just a couple more things done to it. And I was supposed to actually take my helmet with me that day because I was going to get it painted to match the bike. And I forgot it because it was downstairs in my basement. And I jumped on the bike and head over to practice. I went a different route that day that I normally go, because normally I'm on the highway and it's a little bit quicker. But that day I took the back way, went through the city because there was a little bit of traffic on the highway and I didn't have my helmet, and I went through the city, and that's the last thing I remember.
What did the doctors tell you? Did they tell you just how fortunate you were and how bad it really was? What did they tell you?
You know, I find out more and more now, you know, that I ask questions a lot more now. And I found out, you know, literally how close I was. You know, I found out how bad it was. I mean, it's gruesome. I wouldn't even want to talk about it. It's pretty bad how bad I got messed up. And they actually told me that I was literally seconds, maybe a minute away from dying, because I slit a vein or artery in my mouth, in my throat, and it was draining blood right into my stomach. And luckily, the paramedic noticed it and stopped it, or else I would have had too much blood in my stomach.
So you were not wearing a helmet that day. Explain that. How come?
That day I wasn't. I forgot it. I literally forgot it. You know, there's times that, you know, people may have been making a big deal for the last 2 years about me riding, first of all, and then riding without a helmet. But it's one of those things that I ride with a helmet also. I do a little bit of both. You know, it's people say if you don't wear a seatbelt every time you ride in the car, or should I label you as a person that doesn't wear a seatbelt? And it just, unfortunately, I happened not to have it on that day because I forgot to go get it in the basement.
All right, so you forgot it that day, but you sometimes wear it, but you sometimes don't wear it.
Correct.
Why would you not wear it all the time?
Well, because it's one of those choices that I make. You know, it's not a law. I don't feel like I'm not breaking the law in Pennsylvania by not wearing a helmet. It's just it's a choice that I make. I feel that you know, I don't always feel I necessarily need to. It's nice to be free when you're out riding a motorcycle, and you know, it's a decision I made.
The team itself last year, at any point did the organization say to you, don't ride that motorcycle anymore, or parts of your contract might be in jeopardy?
No, that was never brought up. And people made a big deal that Coach Cower, you know, that I was defying Coach Cower and the team. Coach Cower said, Ben, don't ride again, don't do this. That never happened. Coach Cower, from day one, has always told me, just be careful. You know, be smart. He goes, I would like for you not to ride, but I'm not telling you not to. And so, you know, that's good. I can kind of clear that air, because people, you know, thought that I was blatantly defying him.
Are you still going to ride?
I don't know. I'm not even thinking about that right now, because to me right now, like I said, when I first started thinking about things, I thought about my family. Well, now that I'm doing better and I feel good, now I'm thinking about football. And so that's what's on my mind right now. Is I'm feeling healthy. I'm getting better every day. To answer your question, I'm not thinking about what it could happen.
Okay, I get that. You're not thinking about it, but you're not telling me that you won't do it again.
Right.
You might ride again.
You never know.
With or without a helmet?
With a helmet.
Later, part 2 of Roethlisberger's conversation with Jim Rome, the aftermath of the accident, his reaction the first time he looked in the mirror, and what he said to his coach, Bill Cowher.
It is the first question that comes after the sympathy has subsided. And quite often, and honestly, even before that sometimes, a pro athlete gets injured. And after, is he okay, we're interested if and when he can play. Callous, without question. But in the business of pro sports, one that needs to be asked, especially by the team conducting the business. Game plans need to be made, possible replacements found, salary cap numbers crunched. The Steelers faced all those uncertainties after Ben Roethlisberger's motorcycle accident. And as he discusses with Jim Rome, Roethlisberger had to face the Steelers.
You don't remember the accident itself. When you finally started to come to and you realized just the gravity of the situation, when was that? Where were you exactly when it happened?
Well, once like I said, I was laying in the ambulance, and when the guy working said that it wasn't a dream, that it really happened, then it started to click in. But then, like I said, I don't really remember much till afterwards. I remember Coach Cowher being in there. I remember my family, my friends, and a few people kind of just talking to me in the hospital. But both my eyes were swollen shut, and I don't really remember too much. But I just remember when Coach Cowher came in there, he said something to me, and the first thing I said to him was, "I'm sorry." And I apologize to my parents for putting them through this too.
Sorry for what?
Putting them through the scare, the long nights that they were about to endure, the worry, and the many tears, obviously.
What was your reaction the first time you looked in the mirror and you saw yourself?
I scared myself. I looked at myself in the mirror in the hospital the day after the accident. I looked and was just like, I'll never be the same. This is terrible, and luckily I have such a strong family that we said we can get through this.
What about Bill Cowher? You said, "I'm sorry." What did he say to you?
Well, Coach Cowher, which is credit to him, he said what he said in the media, he said to me. The exact same thing. He said, "Ben, what makes you special is that you're a free spirit, and that's what makes you who you are." He goes, "I don't want you to change that free spiritness. I want you to be careful, but don't change who you are."
Have you addressed your teammates?
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of them. I haven't called a team meeting and talked to them, but I think I've talked to every single one of them, or they've talked to me, and we have talked, and they all are just glad I'm around and glad I'm going to be okay, and not one of them has ever said one bad thing about me riding, and and I'm thankful for that I've got good teammates.
And not one of those teammates has said to you, "Ben, we're happy you're all right, don't do it again." Not one of those guys?
Not one. Not even one. Not even a veteran like Jerome, who obviously is not on the team anymore. Not one guy has said, "Stay off a bike." I just tell them I'll be ready for them. I'll be there for you guys. I'm sorry if I've put any worry on you guys. Thank you for your calls and your cards and flowers and everything. But I'll be ready. I'll be there for you guys, and hopefully I'll be just as good, if not better.
More Big Ben coming up on SportsCenter in part 3 of the conversation, the impact of the accident, and whether Roethlisberger thinks he'll be ready for the start of the football season.
NBA signing jersey day for Ben Wallace in Chicago. Newest Bulls signed a 4-year, $60 million free agent contract. Kicked off the team prior to spring practice this year.
Ben Roethlisberger's appearance at the taping of the ESPYs last night marked the first time he ventured out in public since his motorcycle crash last month. It's the beginning of a return to his life before the crash. His schedule for the week also included a video shoot for a Pittsburgh area band and a celebrity golf tournament in Lake Tahoe. But an experience like his that changes your life very quickly often leaves an impact that is lasting. Roethlisberger discussed that with Jim Rome.
Taking all together this entire experience, how has it impacted you?
Well, like I said before, it made me realize what I almost lost. Being a professional athlete, sometimes you forget that you're not a real person, and that's tough because we live under a microscope, and people put us on a pedestal, which isn't always a bad thing. But sometimes when you're doing things, you just want to have a normal life. You want to be normal, and maybe I got a little selfish and wanted to have a normal life by riding a motorcycle and doing things like that, and thinking I'm invincible because of all the things that have happened. And I think maybe this has kind of brought me back down and say, hey, don't forget, Ben. You have to remember what you are and who you are, and just be smart.
Because you were young, you were strong, you were physical, you had so much success so soon, do you start to think you're bulletproof? This can't happen to me?
Maybe a little bit. you know, just because of the success we've had and like I said, the pedestal that the public's put you on. And like I said, this kind of has helped me say, hey, listen, and I think maybe in a part, it's probably God's way of saying the same thing. Ben, listen, you better settle down a little bit, get off your high horse, and just be smart. You know, I can take this away from you in a flash, and this is your warning.
Did you have any conversation with the driver of that car?
No.
Do you want to?
You know, I may come across sounding cold. I don't blame her. I have no ill wishes towards her, but I don't really have any need or desire to.
No resentment that you're now in this position?
Not at all. No, I don't, you know, obviously it was her fault. I don't hold her responsible. I don't, you know, that's just not who I am. I forgive her for the accident.
The training camp's going to open up at the end of July. Are you going to be ready?
Absolutely. I plan on it. You know, I can't predict the future, but every day I'm getting better. I've been working out for 2 weeks now. I've been throwing. I've been at the facility. I've been throwing to my teammates, running with my teammates. So I feel that I'll be ready.
So you're throwing. How do you feel? Like, if you had to put a number on it, what % are you at right now?
I would say right now I'm probably 80%. I like where I'm at. You know, I'm at the point where normally, if this never would have happened, I would not have been throwing as of now, because I like to rest my arm as long as I can. But I've been throwing a couple times a week to make sure that my arm still works, and it does. And I feel good the way I run, and I think I'll be ready.
I would imagine eating for the first few weeks had to be tough. Are you at the same weight?
My weight's down a little bit, but it's not down drastically. I'm at a weight where I'm ready to go to camp. I feel good. I feel good that when I'm running, I feel that I'll put just the right amount of weight on during training camp, because I can eat normal foods now, and that's good, and I can put the extra weight that I did lose on.
You look good and you sound good. Privately, when you're with yourself, have you ever thought, am I going to be the same player that I once was?
No, never, and that's the honest truth, because I look at myself in the mirror every day, and I look at, okay, I'm looking a little bit better, I'm feeling a little bit better. Every day I work out, I feel stronger. And my goal at the end of this is to come out better. Because right now, you know, after winning the Super Bowl, we put a pretty big bullseye on our chest. And now, and on my chest, after the first season, people said, how can you live up to 15-1? Well, we didn't, you know, have as good a record, but we won a Super Bowl. Now people are like, well, now your expectations are even higher. You have to repeat. What are you going to do? Well, after the accident, now people are saying, well, he's not going to be any good. There's no way he can even play. So now it's almost like there's more people doubting what I can do, and hopefully I can go out and prove people wrong.
All right, you've heard it. You can see it for yourself, too, on ESPN.com. You can read the complete transcript as Roethlisberger speaks for the first time since his near-fatal accident. That's right now on ESPN.com.